The morning sun cast long shadows across Chibuzo Okafor's expansive bedroom as he juggled his two phones, a Samsung S23 Ultra for Sophia and an iPhone 15 Pro Max for Ilara. At 35, he had mastered the art of compartmentalizing his life, but lately, the walls were beginning to crack. His house help, blessing, knocked softly on the door. "Oga, your mother is at the gate." "What?" "But it's only..." Chibuzo checked the time at 7:30 a.m. "Chai. Tell her I'm coming." He quickly switched off Sophia's phone. He couldn't risk any romantic messages popping up while his mother was around. As he hurried to change, he caught his reflection in the full-length mirror. Designer white kaftan, gold watch, fresh haircut, every inch the successful oil services executive. But his eyes told a different story, exhaustion from maintaining his double life. Downstairs, Mama Okafor was already making herself comfortable in the living room, her wrapper arranged neatly around her as she inspected the surroundings with critical eyes. "Nam," she called out as soon as she saw him. "Is this how you keep your house? Look at all this dust on the center table." "Good morning, Mama." Chibuzo bent to kiss her cheek. "You're early today." "Early? Is there a time limit to when a mother can visit her only son?" She adjusted her head tie. "Especially when that son is busy spreading his seed all over Port Harcourt without bringing home a wife." Chibuzo's heart skipped. "Mama, what are you talking about? Don't play games with me, NWAM. I went to morning mass yesterday, and who did I see? Ilara. That girl's stomach is growing, and you think you can hide it from me?" Before Chibuzo could respond, his phone buzzed, Sophia's special ringtone. His mother's eyes narrowed at the sound. "And who is that calling you this early? Another girlfriend?" "No, Mama, it's business." "Business?" She scoffed. "The only business you should be concerned about now is marriage. Your father was already married with 2 children at your age." The mention of his late father made Chibuzo's chest tighten. Chief Okafor had been a respected man, known for his integrity in business and family life. What would he think of his son now? The air conditioning in Sophia's boutique, Sophia's Grace, provided a welcome escape from the humid Port Harcourt weather. Mannequins dressed in the latest Ankara styles lined the walls, while a display case showcased imported jewelry, evidence of a successful fashion business. Sophia stood before a full-length mirror, adjusting a new shipment of lace materials while her best friend Yewanda lounged on the boutique's imported leather sofa. "So, have you told your parents about the wedding date yet?" Yewanda asked, scrolling through her phone. "Not yet. I want Chibuzo to meet them properly first. You know how my father is about tradition." Sophia smiled, remembering how her father, Chief Adibeo, prided himself on maintaining Yoruba customs despite living in Port Harcourt for 30 years. The sterile walls of Divine Hospital's prenatal clinic seemed to close in on Elora as she sat in the waiting room, one hand resting protectively on her growing belly. The television mounted on the wall played a Nollywood movie on low volume, but she barely noticed it, her mind consumed with worry. "Ilara Nwachukwu," a nurse called out. Inside Dr. Mrs. Adibeo's office, the air conditioning hummed softly as the doctor reviewed Elora's test results with a frown. "Your blood pressure is still too high," the doctor said, adjusting her glasses. "This isn't good for you or the baby. Are you getting enough rest?" Elora twisted her wrapper nervously. "I try, but work is very demanding, and the baby's father. Is he supporting you?" Tears welled up in Elora's eyes. "Chibuzo he's busy with work." Dr. Mrs. Adibeo's expression softened. She'd seen too many young women in similar situations. "Elora, my dear, stress is very dangerous during pregnancy. You need support." As if on cue, a knock sounded at the door. Dr. Kenneth Namdi, the hospital's newest consultant, stepped in. "Sorry to interrupt," he said, then noticed Elara. His expression changed. "Elara, is that you?" She quickly wiped her tears. "Kenneth, you work here now?" Dr. Mrs. Adebayo looked between them. "You know each other?" "We were classmates at Uniport," Kenneth explained, his eyes still on Elara. The years had been kind to her, she was even more beautiful than he remembered. After the appointment, Kenneth caught up with Elara in the corridor. "Let me drive you home," he offered. "We have a lot to catch up on." In his car, the familiar scent of his cologne brought back memories of their university days, before Chibuzo, before everything got complicated. "I heard you're engaged," Kenneth said carefully, navigating through Port Harcourt's traffic. "Who told you that?" "No one. I just assumed, given your condition." Elara laughed bitterly. "Chibuzo hasn't proposed. He hasn't even told his family about the baby." Kenneth gripped the steering wheel tighter. "The Chibuzo Okafor. The oil services guy. You know him." "Everyone knows him." "Especially." Kenneth hesitated. "Especially his engagement to some Yoruba businesswoman." The words seemed to stop. Elara's hand flew to her mouth. "What did you say?" The ancestral Okafor compound stood as a testament to old money and tradition. Mama Okafor sat in her parlor, surrounded by photographs of her late husband and family members. Before her stood Adana, her former potential daughter-in-law, now turned informant. "Mama, what I'm telling you is the truth," Adana said, adjusting her designer dress. "Chibuzo is playing with two hearts." Mama Okafor's eyes narrowed. "And why are you just telling me this now? Is it not because he left you 3 years ago?" "Mama, this isn't about me. Think about your grandchild. The one Elara is carrying." The older woman's face softened at the mention of her grandchild. She reached for her phone, fingers shaking with anger as she dialed Chibuzo's number. Floor-to-ceiling windows offered a panoramic view of Port Harcourt skyline from Chibuzo's executive office. His empire had grown significantly over the past 5 years, multiple oil servicing contracts, a real estate portfolio, and connections with the city's most powerful families. His assistant, Joy, rushed in with urgent news. "Sir, Chief Adebayo is here to see you." Chibuzo's heart raced. Sophia's father. Unannounced. The imposing figure of Chief Adebayo filled the doorway, his agbada flowing regally as he entered. "Young man, we need to talk about my daughter." Sophia was in the middle of a bridal consultation when her phone buzzed with a message from an unknown number. A video attachment. Her perfectly manicured finger hesitated over the play button. The footage showed Chibuzo entering the Vine Hospital, his arm around a pregnant woman. The timestamp was from yesterday. "Auntie Sophia." Her young assistant called out. "The bride is ready to try on the sample." But Sophia couldn't move. Her world was crumbling in silent, high-definition detail. Obina watched his best friend Chibuzo down another glass of whiskey. The usually confident businessman looked haunted. "You need to choose," Obina advised. "Before everything explodes." "How?" Chibuzo loosened his tie. "Elara is carrying my child." "But Sophia, I love her too. And our family's business interests are now intertwined." A familiar figure appeared at their table, Adana, wearing a triumphant smile. Well, she purred. "Just the man I was looking for." The video spread through WhatsApp groups like wildfire. First, it hit the Port Harcourt Women's Business Network, where Sophia was a prominent member. Then it reached the Oil and Gas Wives Association, where Mama Okafor held an executive position. Within hours, the entire city's elite was buzzing. Adana sat in her luxury apartment at Pearl Gardens, monitoring her handiwork through multiple social media accounts. Her laptop displayed dozens of tabs, each a different gossip blog or social platform where she had strategically leaked information about Chibuzo's double life. Her phone rang. It was her contact at Hilde Cornell's blog. "Madam, the story is ready to go live. Just waiting for your final approval." Adana smiled, examining her fresh manicure. "Make sure you emphasize the business angle. How he's using both families' connections for contracts." Her living room wall displayed framed photos from 3 years ago, happier times when she was the one Chibuzo promised to marry. Before he claimed his family wouldn't accept a girl from Calabar. "You think you can just dump a cross-river girl and walk away," she muttered, approving the blog post. "Let's see how you handle this." Kenneth stood before his bathroom mirror, adjusting his tie before his morning rounds. His phone displayed Elora's message from last night. "Thank you for being there today. I don't know what I would have done without you." His mind wandered to their university days, how he'd loved her quietly, always the supportive friend, watching as she fell for other men. Now, years later, fate had given him another chance. A knock at his door interrupted his thoughts. It was Dr. Mrs. Adebayo. "Kenneth, we need to talk about your involvement with patient Mochuku." The Adebayo family compound buzzed with activity. News of Sophia's humiliation had reached her extended family, and various aunties and uncles had descended upon Port Harcourt for an emergency family meeting. In the main sitting room, Chief Adebayo paced, his agboda swishing with each turn. Family portraits lined the walls, generations of proud Yoruba lineage watching this crisis unfold. "Daddy, please," Sophia pleaded. "Let me handle this my way." "Handle what?" her father thundered. "Our family name is already in these gossip blogs. Your mother can't even go to her women's association meetings." Sophia's mother, Fulik, elegant in her osook, touched her husband's arm. "My love, calm down. Your blood pressure. Blood pressure. How can I be calm when an Igbo boy has disgraced our daughter like this?" The youngest aunt, Aunt Yinka, scrolled through her phone. "Have you seen the latest? They are saying he used our family's connection to get the NNPC contract last month." Chibuzo stared at the emails piling up in his inbox. 3 major clients had already postponed their contracts. His phone wouldn't stop ringing with calls from board members and shareholders. His secretary, Joy, entered with more bad news. "Sir, the NNPC representatives are here. They want to discuss the recent developments." In the conference room, stern-faced executives waited. The oldest among them, a northerner named Alhaji Ibrahim, spoke first. "Mr. Okafor, our organization values its reputation. This scandal, it's not good for business." Elora lay on the examination bed for her scheduled scan when the door burst open. Sophia stood there, designer handbag clutched tight, eyes blazing. "So it's true," Sophia said, taking in Elora's pregnant form. Dr. Kenneth stepped between them. "This is a private medical space." "Private?" Sophia laughed bitterly. "Like how she privately seduced my fiancé." Elora sat up, protective hands over her belly. "Your fiancé? I've been with Chibuzo for 2 years. Really? We've been together for 3. He proposed 6 months ago." The monitoring machine beeped as Elora's heart rate increased. Kenneth moved quickly. "Both of you, out. This stress isn't good for the baby." In the corridor, Mama Okafor appeared, rosary in hand. She looked between both women, one carrying her grandchild, the other wearing her mother's ancient coral beads. "So," the older woman said quietly, "this is what my son has brought upon us." The small prayer room in Mama Okafor's house was thick with incense. Photos of her late husband stood among religious artifacts, canonical candles casting dancing shadows on the walls. She knelt before her altar, tears streaming down her face. Nam, she whispered to her husband's photo. What would you do? Our son has brought shame to our name. Enoch interrupted her prayers. Her younger sister, Auntie Chioma, entered. Nne, the elders are here. The Umona wants to have a word about this situation. In the living room, 5 elderly men in traditional red caps sat solemnly. The oldest, Ichi Izudu, spoke first. Nwani Oma, this matter has gone beyond Port Harcourt. It has reached the village. Mama Okafor sat straight, adjusting her wrapper. Ichi, I understand. No, you don't, another elder cut in. Your late husband was our tradition keeper. For his son to be carrying on like this, with a Yoruba girl and an Igbo girl at the same time. The Yoruba girl's father is threatening to report to the Council of Chiefs, the third elder added. Says we Igbos are trying to steal his family's wealth through this boy. Thanks for watching. Stay updated for part 2 of this story, which will drop soon. Please like and subscribe to our channel. Turn on your notification bell so as soon as new videos drop you will be among the first to know. By liking and subscribing you enable us to continue producing more videos. Thank you. Now go ahead and click on our next thriller video.